it, going up about 30 feet onto the mezzanine, working on air unit install. Got one on already, it's in place. Working on lifting the second one right now.
When we go to a job site and we're looking at our best methods to actually install some of this equipment, we don't necessarily go in there thinking that we're going to be using big design build rigging system. Typically we go into some of these job sites and we're looking at the easiest method. So can we lift this piece of equipment with the crane? Can we lift this piece of equipment with the forklift? Is there a gantry option? Will the client let us open a hole in the roof? We'll take off the easiest options first. And if none of those are going to work, we will then go towards what we'd like to call a design build rigging system. And that rigging system is going to be very customizable to the actual job itself. In this particular scenario, we had a 23,000 pound air handling unit. We had two of them actually, that we had to lift up 30 feet onto a mezzanine structure. And we had very limited head height clearances, no room for a crane in the building, no room for block and rigging above it. So this was the only option.
I have done a few jobs similar to this one. Just the mezzanine really, and the height of the lift is higher than usual, stacking MP25s on top of each other. But yeah, mostly just the mezzanine onto the web of beams up there.
The design that's going to lift the air handling unit has to work. We can't design this, spend a week to actually assemble the rigging system for us to be out 6 inches and the lift doesn't happen. So it's very critical at the design stage to actually spend a lot of effort. Again, not only designing things, going back to site, remeasuring, confirming with the general contractor or the client on site if things can or can't be moved, and really understand all of your limitations and restrictions for the site. So what I like to do is I'll draw everything on paper first. I'll get some grid paper, I'll draw it all out, I'll get my ruler and a pencil. I usually go through a couple different design renditions. And then once I have all of that information, I will then send all of that to our engineer. And our engineer will then take our design, ensure that we've adequately sized our beams, and basically all of the rigging components for our rigging system, including our chain falls, including our slings, our shackles, and not only from a structural standpoint, but also from a stability standpoint. We need to make sure that not only can this structurally take the loads imposed from the air handling unit that we're trying to lift, it's not going to sway or move around to a point where we have a stability issue.
Some of the complexities are getting just everything level, really. There's a crazy slope in the roof, so had to make sure 4 of our header beams were perfectly level so that when we slapped up the travel beams, they were perfectly level because they're super hard to level afterwards. And then where the air units are going, they're going on a bunch of beams. So there's a pretty complex jack and roll system up top.
This is an actual drawing from when I was doing the initial thoughts on this project. So when you actually look at this drawing, so that's theoretically the rough draft and the finished copy. This is the drawings that our guys will get in the field. And it shows basically the build and what they need to do. Everything's engineered, goes from napkin to engineered drawing to job completed.
I'll get the drawings either about a week beforehand so I can kind of go over them and kind of get it in my head. I kind of go over it with the crew the best I can. Before we're lifting, we'll go through a pre-lift meeting, make sure everybody knows their role and responsibilities. We'll sign off on the SWPs, make sure everybody's familiar with those. Lots of coaching, lots of teaching as we go. Everybody asks questions. Yesterday's lift was awesome. I think the unit was in the air for about 10-15 minutes, so not too bad. We learned a little bit of things, of course, so we'll be even smoother today, hopefully.
This lift went off without any problems. Took our team 5 days to assemble, and that's 5 days with a 5-man team with a variety of different equipment, snorkel lifts, different AWPs, scissor lifts, telehandlers. So it is very involved. It takes a tremendous amount of effort from the team. Now, the individual leading the job, he is responsible for obviously overseeing the entirety of the lift and the setup, but one of the most important key factors is right at the beginning with the layout. He needs to lay out this system properly, because if he puts it in the wrong position, after 5 days, you may realize that you're short somewhere. So layout is very critical. Thankfully, we've got some great guys on our team that have been doing this a very long time.
I've been doing this for 9 years now, so just an experience thing. I've built hundreds of these systems, little ones, big ones, all sorts of different places. These design and build systems are, I think, the best thing. Just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of knowledge, but it gets the job done.
We took 2 days to install both air handling units, and the guys actually had the system torn down and off-site in 2.5 days. So everybody did a very phenomenal job. No incidents, no near misses. It was textbook. We're excited to get on to the next one. We have a couple of really big ones coming up in the future. These are the ones that I quite enjoy because it actually gets us very involved and it really showcases our ability. We have a very happy client, a client that we've done a lot of work for and will continue to hopefully do a lot of work for. So we're looking forward to the next one.